Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining us. It's Friday, March 29th, and you're watching News 2 on Via Channel 4 and 504. I'm April Knight. Topping our stories tonight, the Virgin Islands may be the first government entity in the United States to have an Attorney General serve a 6-year term. Governor Albert Bryan hopes that his legislation will prevent the Virgin Islands Department of Justice from being used as a political tool, he said. The governor also appointed an 18-year veteran of the Department of Justice to the role of Attorney General. News 2's Stephanie Brown has more.
As mentioned in Governor Albert Bryan's first State of the Territory speech, the proposal of a 6-term Attorney General in the Virgin Islands has been sent to the 33rd Legislature.
In the Virgin Islands, due to the inherent structure of our government, the balance of power is sometimes tipped towards the executive branch.
Through a 6-year term, the governor hopes that the powers of the Attorney General's office will not be used for the personal agendas of any elected administration.
Over the years, this bias has allowed individuals to use the power of the executive branch to intimidate, suppress, and exact political retribution on individuals and on other branches of government.
In the Virgin Islands, the Attorney General is a 4-year appointed position. There are 7 states in the United States that follow suit. All other 43 states elect their Attorney General. If passed, legislation proposing a 6-year term would be the first of its kind.
Once enacted by the legislature, the law would allow for several things. Governors, number one, would have to be able to justify the removal of any Attorney General before the completion of the 6-year term. Any removal of the Attorney General could be challenged in court by the sitting Attorney General, and the administration would have to be completely transparent as to the cause of the removal.
The governor named Denise George Counts as the nominee to be the first Attorney General to have a 6-year tenure. The governor charged the AG to reduce the amount of guns and gun-related crimes in the territory.
The best deterrent to criminal activity is an effective and aggressive enforcement of our criminal laws. And that starts from the BIPD's lead in investigation and arrest, through the Attorney General's lead in prosecution and conviction.
Denise George Counts stated that she began her legal career in the Virgin Islands Department of Justice, and she has 18 years of service in the organization. For News 2, I'm Stephanie Shalana Brown.
On that legislation. Meanwhile, Saturday is the moment of truth for the reapportionment initiative that aims to restructure the Virgin Islands legislature. The initiative would create 5 districts: St. Thomas East, St. Thomas West, St. Croix East, St. Croix West, and St. John. Each of those districts will have 2 elected senators, except for St. John, which will have only 1. Then every voter gets to vote for 6 at-large senators for a total of 15. Your polling places on Saturday are the same as the ones in the primaries. On St. Croix, you have DC Canegata Rec Center, Juanita Gardine Elementary School, Ricardo Richards Elementary School, St. Croix Educational Complex, and Claude O'Marco Elementary School. In the St. Thomas St. John district, you have Charles Turnbull Library, Lockhart Elementary School, UVI Sports and Fitness Center, and the Julius Sprouse School on St. John. The polls are open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. For more information, go to www.vivote.gov. Meanwhile, at the Senate on Thursday, 3 of Governor Albert Bryan's cabinet nominees advanced after getting nods from members of the Senate Committee on Rules and Judiciary, and that's despite some concerns raised for each nominee. Commissioner nominee Positive T.A. Nelson got a unanimous nod from all present members of the Senate Committee, but he did have to reassure them that he can separate his government role from his high-profile advocacy for medicinal and recreational cannabis on national and international national platforms. Nelson also defended his lack of agricultural expertise, saying the industry does not need a farmer of the year. It needs a businessman and an individual who understands policies. Justa Encarnacion, a healthcare professional and manager, also got the committee's approval in spite of reports from health department employees about her management style. And Jean-Pierre Oriol also advanced on Thursday in his nomination to head the Department of Planning and Natural Resources in spite of concerns presented by some fishermen in the territory. We'll keep you updated on the confirmation process for these and other cabinet nominees. On St. Croix, power was restored on Wednesday after a few hours of island-wide outage. According to the Water and Power Authority, electrical service was fully restored at around 5:41 in the afternoon on Wednesday. The power went out a little before 3 p.m. and according to WAPA, a generating unit at the Estate Richmond power plant led to all feeders falling offline. WAPA crews began restoring power around 4:47 that afternoon, and then all services were restored at around 5:41, according to WAPA. Turning our attention to crime, police are investigating a shooting on St. Thomas that happened on Tuesday, March 26th. At around 10:30 at night, police found the victim of a gunshot in the driver's seat of his car in the area of Goat Street. He told police he was reversing into his parking lot when an unknown male individual opened fire on him. The victim suffered several gunshot wounds and was taken to Schneider Hospital via ambulance. This case is under investigation. If you have any information, you can call the numbers on your screen, and you can also report anonymously to Crime Stoppers VI at 1-800-222-TIPS, or you can call 911. Over in Washington, the House of Representatives passed on Wednesday the Paycheck Fairness Act. It's an effort to close the pay gap between men and women. The bill would ban employers from asking candidates how much money they made in previous jobs. It would also eliminate employer rules that keep workers from talking about their salaries so that women could ask how much their co-workers are making and find out if they're underpaid. Delegate to Congress Stacey Plaskett took to the House floor to advocate for the bill. Here's more.
The Paycheck Fairness Act would help close these punishing gaps by eliminating loopholes in Equal Pay Act. The wage gap between America's men and women denies women $900 billion in income each year. Across the country, this disparity directly affects children. In my district of the Virgin Islands, 32% of families with children live in poverty, and of that number, 76% are headed by a single mother. We know that families that live in poverty have higher rates of instability and that children living in poverty perform worse in school than their counterparts. By paying each woman the $10,000 they lose per annum to the wage gap, we can do the right thing and the fiscally responsible thing and raise millions of families above the poverty line.
Coming up next, a sea turtle rescue, plus the star of the viral Whip and Nene music video stopped by to promote a contest featuring Virgin Islands kids when we come back. Welcome back. The St. Croix Educational Complex students experienced a day filled with culture on Friday. More than 20 guests were invited to the school to engage students in all aspects of VI culture, and that includes historical talks, natural beauty care, using photography to document culture, as well as making traditional foods. Here's more.
Today at the St. Croix Educational Complex High School, we are hosting the culmination of 2 months of instruction and work in the areas of Black history and Virgin Islands history, as well as Women's History Month. So what you see here today is a grand cultural extravaganza. With this morning, we have a host of presenters presenting different workshops for our students so that they can learn about the customs from from long ago, especially here on St. Croix, but also throughout the Caribbean. And this afternoon, we're going to have a taste of complex in our breezeway, as well as the afternoon session, a grand finale with different cultural groups displaying dances, reading poetry, and giving some historical information on Virgin Islands icons.
So some of the workshops that we are hosting includes titles such as From Sugarcane to Coconut. We have the art of carrot cake making, the art of Johnny cake making. We have plant in a backyard garden, natural hair care, just a host of workshops just to give information to our students.
So we have about 27 to 30 presenters, and the bulk of our presenters are actually teachers here that are showing a secondary skill other than what they teach in the classroom on a regular basis. So we have teachers who are doing the art of storytelling, who are doing calypso lyrics, they are doing VI poetry, carrot cake. Our paraprofessionals are doing roasting different things on the coal pot in the back. They did the 3 stones. They're doing so many things to expose our students to a variety of cultural aspects.
What a great event. Stunning documentary films from around the world are being screened right now at the University of the Virgin Islands. The Margaret Mead Film Festival is an annual film festival held at the American Museum of Natural History, and that's named after the famed anthropologist and cultural icon Margaret Mead. It brings together various documentaries telling unique stories from a global perspective, and it's free to everyone. It's a 3-day event at the UVI St. Thomas campus in the Pena House. It started tonight 7 to 11 p.m. and goes on Saturday at the same time, and then Sunday starting at 11 in the morning. Again, that's happening Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at Pena House at UVI on St. Thomas. Also on St. Thomas, residents and private companies came together to rescue an endangered sea turtle that was injured and stranded just off of the Belongo Bay cliffs. In February, Coral World Ocean Park got a call about the stranded turtle. Park personnel responded, clambered down that cliff, and found a sub-adult green sea turtle lying on its back. Coral World has been tending to the sea turtle, which had an injury on one of its flippers. The turtle finally stabilized and regained its strength, and thanks to American Airlines, they were able to ship the turtle to a turtle hospital in Miami, where it could get the additional care that it needs. The turtle may be flown back to St. Thomas in the future and released in the same area where it was rescued. Congratulations. Okay, so tomorrow, Saturday, is a big event for Virgin Islands youth hoping to make it big in the entertainment industry. The star of the viral Whip and Nene video is in town, and he'll be performing live at the first annual Kids Fest. That's happening Saturday, 4 p.m. at the Ivana Eudorican High School on St. Thomas. Silento of Whip and Nene fame is just one of the big stars at the event. Tyler Rain, the star of the rap game showing on Lifetime, will also be there. Virgin Islander Shama of Shama Specialties, Shama Dewberry of Shama Specialties, put the event together, and she invited producers and scouts who may discover the next big star at Saturday's event. Silento, Tyler, and Shama stopped by the studio to tell us all about it.
The idea of this whole concept is getting back into the school spirit, the school vibes. Back in my days, I had stepping, dancing. I feel that has been disconnected from the school. And I think this is a time, my time, the 80s babies, our generation, to mold back these kids and bring back the school vibes in so we could get more entertainment out of them.
Just working with kids, it make me feel great. You know, take their pictures, make their day. You know, I know that they all going through a lot of struggles that they can't say to their parents, they don't know how to say, so when I come, I make sure that I can put a smile on their face. People stare at me because, you know, they thought I was just an icon on TV, and to really see me in person, to have a diploma, because I graduated from high school before I came to the Virgin Islands. I made education first. The 3 things you got to keep in mind is God, family, and education. I made sure I did that so I could come today and say, it don't matter who you are, you still can be successful at a young age.
This is my first time in Virgin Islands. This is my first Kids Fest ever, and I was just, okay, cool, this is going to be a great opportunity to see all my fans in the Virgin Islands, and the show just wrapped, so it's going to be like, oh, she actually came here first to show her love and everything. And I feel like this is a great outlet for us kids and teens to go somewhere safe and just have fun and just forget about the worries that we have, such as school and everything. We could just breathe and just have fun with music and have fun with all our peers and have food and everything. So I was excited to come. I'm still excited. I'm excited.
We're excited too. That's tomorrow, Saturday. Doors open at 4 p.m. at Eudorican High School, and that's on St. Thomas. Stick around. Your Pet of the Week and your News2 Accuweather forecast. Those are coming up next. Welcome back. Time for our Pet of the Week. Today we have a gentle giant named Tyler. He's a big dog with a sweet personality, and he needs a forever home. Donna Nemeth, the Director of Operations at the Humane Society, tells us all about Tyler, but also she's going to tell us about the Humane Society's 30 for 30 challenge that's coming up in the month of April. Here's more.
This is Tyler. He's about 3 years old. He is a super energetic, fun dog. We've taken him on some public dog walks, and he got along great with everybody. He was super, super fun. He's got really thick, beautiful fur. You can see he's shedding a little bit of that winter coat, getting ready for spring. He likes to chase cats sometimes, but he gets along great with everybody, and we really hope that he finds his forever home. Over the next month of April, we're doing a special to help some of our dogs who've been here the longest to get into some forever homes and get them out of the shelter. So we're doing a $30 adoption special for 30 of our adult dogs that have been here the longest. So our $30 special adoption fee is still going to cover a microchip, spay and neuter surgery, up-to-date vaccinations, flea and tick and heartworm preventative, so they're going to come out with a full, clean bill of health and everything they need to come home with you.
If you're interested in Tyler, his adoption is just $30 because of the shelter's 30 for 30 event this April. You can call the Humane Society at 775-0599, or you can go to www.hsstt.com. Please consider also supporting the St. Croix Animal Welfare Center and the St. John Animal Care Center. And now let's take a look at what the weather looks like in the next several days with your News2 Accuweather forecast.
Happy Friday and good evening. As we continue into your current satellite, well, you're definitely noticing there's a lot of moisture to our north. This is due to a front that also extends down in towards Hispaniola and Jamaica. That front also combining with a low pressure system that's bringing some wet conditions across Bermuda. Or we'll continue to see this entire zone of moisture press its way to the east. Now, what does this mean for us here in the Virgin Islands? Not a whole bunch, except for trade's going to be disrupted for tonight and as we head into tomorrow, and then we'll continue to see those trades try to reorganize as we head into early next week. Now, closer look at our area. Not a lot of deep moisture clouds streaming our way, but most of that moisture either sitting back to our west or out towards our north and east, and that will continue to be the case for tonight, with the exception for a few showers popping up, partly cloudy skies, and a low of 75. We'll keep some of that shower activity for tomorrow here in St. John, what we're typically used to. So no super long-term showers extending across St. John, nor St. Thomas with a high of 84, and topping off in the upper 80s in St. Croix, partly sunny skies, shower here and there. Moving into your marine forecast on the Atlantic side, waves a bit elevated, 3 to 5 feet, and that has some relationship with that cold front in terms of your waves for tomorrow. Winds out of the southeast, 5 to 10 knots. Caribbean side also noticing your winds not as aggressive into tomorrow's marine forecast. Winds out of the east, 5 to 10 knots. Waves 2 to 4 feet on the Caribbean side. Now, those winds are disrupted due to that front, but they'll pick back up, and that will still allow for the chance for some spotty showers into next week. As for Sunday, we're looking at a high of 85, and a low of 76. Remaining in the mid-80s through your Wednesday, partly sunny skies, and no deep pockets of moisture coming our way for the next several days.
Thank you for that. Stick around. Randall's news and comments, plus News2 Sports with Gary Anthony. Those are coming up next. We'll be right back.
watching News 2. This is Alex Randall with News and Comment. What is a conundrum? Senator Fred Gregory was in a debate about legislation to allocate government money to purchase works of fine art. Some of the senators stood up for local art, and Senator Fred Gregory said, and we quote, "I'm a conundrum in the Virgin Islands." Now, conundrum is a good 50-cent college word. It means a confusing or difficult problem or a question. It's an enigma, a mystery, a question asked for amusement, sometimes with a pun or a riddle built in. But in all my years, I've heard the word used a lot, but I've never heard it where someone said, "I am a conundrum." That's a conundrum. Hearty congratulations to Stanley and the 10 Sleepless Nights making 50 years. Well, almost 50 years. In 2020, Stanley's band will be 50 years old. They have performed all over the United States. They've been all over the world, taking our unique Quail Bay music with them, music that virtually defines the Virgin Islands. Now, there is an effort afoot to try and get the U.S. Post Office to issue a stamp with the band's likeness on the stamp. Meanwhile, the band keeps performing. There is no sleep for the Sleepless Nights. Hey, do you play music? Here's an opportunity for you. Musical artists are invited to join National Public Radio's musical competition that's called the Tiny Desk Contest. It's part of the National Public Radio's All Songs Considered, and all kinds of musicians have gotten their big break in this competition. Now, we have the National Public Radio here, WTJX-FM, and they agitated with the national folks to get our musicians into their contest. You have until April 14th to send a video of you playing a song to npr.org/tinydeskcontest. Your top prize is a chance to play on National Public Radio. This is tragic. How can we be so stupid? How do we allow people to do damage like this? Now, you remember that the storms damaged the schools on St. John. Over at Julius Rouse School, the athletic field is now covered with modular classrooms. The only playing field left on the island of St. John is the one at the Gift Hill School. One playing field for the entire island of St. John. And then this past weekend, some idiot drove a car or truck all around the field in circles, destroying the artificial turf. It's ruined. One of the soccer goalposts is ruined too. And no, it doesn't look at all like an accident. It looks like someone drunk and crazy drove onto the field and spun around in the circle. One can imagine a driver gone hog wild, destroying something that used to be available to everyone. Here comes a question without an answer. How can the government run carnivals and festivals better than the private voluntary organization that runs them right now? Now, after this year's St. Thomas Carnival, the management of all of the carnivals is being transferred to the Department of Tourism. Senators have been concerned with the lack of accountability by the Carnival Committee for years. The government sends money, and the money disappears. The committee fights any effort to give a public accounting of the public money. Now that will change. The government agency must give budget reports. But will government oversight kill carnival spirit? Can a bureaucracy really run carnival? Will the payments to artists who open a huge argument about who is getting paid what? Right now, that's all a secret, and the secrets are going away. Will that hurt carnival? Stay tuned. Thanks for watching. This is Alex Randall with News and Comment. Now back to April.
Thank you for that, Alex. Now, Gary has News 2 Sports coming up, and I believe he has some news about Clayton Laurent, our pro VI boxer, who is now, I believe, in his 4th fight in Puerto Rico. Gary, what do you have for us?
I'm Gary Anthony, and this is News 2 Sports. Virgin Islands native and 2016 Olympian Clayton Laurent Jr. returns to the ring tonight versus Germain Bon Garcia of Chihuahua, Mexico, at Puerto Rico's Coliseo Zayas Montañez, which is located in Trujillo Alto. It's a scheduled 4-round bout. Laurent Jr. is 3-0 with 2 knockouts, while his opponent is 4-1 with 4 knockouts. News 2 Sports will have in-depth coverage of the bout next week. The 2019 NCAA men's basketball tournament has reached the Sweet 16, And if you had favorites Michigan or Tennessee, well, feel free to tear up your brackets. Michigan got completely shut down and losing to the Texas Tech Red Raiders 63-44. Tennessee, they staged an epic 18-point comeback versus the Purdue Boilermakers, only to fall in overtime 99-94. Number 1 seeds Gonzaga and the University of Virginia were winners as well. Gonzaga took down Florida State 72-58, while Virginia beat the pesky Oregon team 53-49. It was opening day in Major League Baseball yesterday with all 30 teams in action. How did it go for the 2 big free agents of 2019? Well, $300 million man Manny Machado went over 3 with 2 strikeouts in the San Diego Padres' 2-0 win over the San Francisco Giants. And $330 million man Bryce Harper went over 3 with 2 strikeouts in the Philadelphia Phillies' 10-4 victory over the Atlanta Braves. Sticking with baseball, here's a quick look at the weekend schedule for the Elmo Plastic Little League for this weekend. That's all for sports. Have a fabulous weekend. April, back to you.
Thank you for that, Gary. And that's it for our show tonight. We're live on Facebook and YouTube Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 7 p.m. as well as on VIA Channel 4 and 504. Make sure you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, tag us on stories you want to see on the news, send us a message on Messenger, or email us at newsdirector@tv2.vi. Thanks again for joining us on News 2. I'm April Knight. We'll see you next time. Have a wonderful weekend.